Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I did record my last video. Um, However, I think due to my internet being picking up the Wi-Fi, made the footage really skippy. Don't know how else to explain it. The frame drops were crazy. A lot of the actual video footage I took probably not going to be very good. So I want to apologize for that. Seems to have cleared up now, whether it's just deleting the stuff off my laptop or disconnected from the internet. Seems to be easier to actually record and get better footage. So I think, so yeah, where was I? Right, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the video footage for this video. As I don't really do a lot of woodworking, I spent 10 minutes talking about my personal struggles and stuff that happened over the weekend. So I'm going to take the video audio from a past video and I'm going to overlay it on this footage. So I'm not going to be doing any talking for this video. So if it doesn't seem like it marries up, that's why. So yeah, in this next video, we're going to be doing the sanding. You will hear me talk about the wooden planks. I will take some stills and overlay the image so you can see obviously what I'm talking about, but it's not going to be completely lined up as my editing skills are nowhere near there yet. I don't particularly enjoy editing at all, so it takes me a long time as I'm a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, and when I start something, if I don't finish it, then it drives me nuts. So I will take some images or some pictures of what I'm talking about, and what we're going to be doing in this video is sanding down the bits of wood that we filled in and hopefully get them ready to be glued. And if there's enough time today, I will be gluing them together. If not, it'll be in tomorrow's footage or tomorrow's uploads, as I record during the day and upload in the evening. So that's why a lot of my videos don't come out until late at night. But yeah, so I'm gonna pause the video here. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start recording, and there'd be a transition between this and the audio on my next video. Um, so yeah, apologies. It will hopefully, as I get more used to recording and uploading, the video quality will be better. But I do explain in the previous video of why I want to do it this way and not edit the videos. So I'll stop talking now. I'm going to end the video here, or this part of the introduction, and then it will go over to my personal experiences of what happened over the weekend, as I feel it's important to share that with you guys. So yeah, transition that way or this way. I haven't figured out. I haven't figured out yet, but thank you. Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 7. We're going to be reviewing the glue job we did over the last episode. We got a few pallets we did patch jobs on, with some wood filler, which we used sawdust and wood glue. And then we're also going to take a look at the table that we glued together as well. But before we do that, I just wanted to share something that happened over the weekend. As in my video description or channel description, obviously I want to share my struggles with addiction as well, in the aim of helping people that have similar struggles. So, as you might have known from some of my thumbnails, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm a very passionate Arsenal fan. I watch all their games, and when we don't perform, it usually has an impact on my mental health, at least my emotional health anyway. And we didn't do very well on Sunday. And after the game, I was faced with temptation. Now, obviously, my addiction to cannabis is not how can I put it? Cannabis is not actually, and when it comes, there's levels when it comes to addiction, right? So cannabis doesn't actually have any addictive properties, as far as I'm aware. Again, this is just my personal experience. I'm not a trained medical professional, so don't take what I'm saying as facts. But in my personal experience and my understanding is that there's no actual addictive properties of it. However, anything that has an effect on your mental state or your mindset, in my opinion, can be addictive. And for me, the reason why I struggle with my addiction to cannabis, as I have some physical health issues. Um, I haven't been fully diagnosed with it, but I've shown signs of it. I'm in the process of getting it sorted at the doctors. But I have struggles with osteoarthritis, which is arthritis in the back. So I tend to be in a lot of pain every day. And I believe I also have rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, which has a massive impact on my overall health. Now, this started showing up when I had my mental break a few years ago after I got divorced, or after I split up with my ex-wife anyway. And since then, my mental health has been, well, my physical health has been directly impacted by my mental stability. And it kind of triggered off a lot of these symptoms from showing up. And since then, I've been pretty much petting daily. So using cannabis as a way to not only quiet my mind and deal with the silence, but it also helped with the pain, which is why I personally struggle with my addiction so much, as because of my ADHD and my physical health. Um, I have a lot of constant issues in my life, whether it be things pounding in my head 24/7, which is why I'm not only just doing carpentry, I'm also recording it and putting it on YouTube, because it allows me to talk to you guys and helps get things off my chest. This is not in the aim to become a massive YouTuber or anything. I hope by me sharing my personal struggles that someone will be able to relate, and maybe hearing me be able to explain it and go through what I struggle with would possibly help you in your own personal struggles. So back to what happened on Sunday, I was faced with the first time I've been tempted since I quit. And for me, that was a big thing because that was the first time it happened. And although it was only a brief flash in the pan, so to speak, it does obviously open up the door to start using again. And just so you know, I didn't. I sat in my car, I went and got some food, and I just sat and watched some videos on YouTube, and pretty much spent the whole evening just cycling through different sorts of videos. And it helped. I wasn't focused on smoking anymore. But the important thing is that temptation will always come apart. It's part and parcel of being a recovering addict. But it's how you choose to handle the addiction or handle the temptation. And for me, I just want to share that how I managed to move past the brief moment of addiction to I'm moving past it. I'm tripping over my words here. I don't really have to explain it, so excuse me if I've not making myself particularly clear. Um, sorry, I think I just need to disconnect now. I'm struggling to yeah, hopefully that improves this game for frame skipping. Um, so yeah, back to it. So because of my temptation, um, I managed to find something to focus on and dive into. And although it wasn't probably the most healthy, as I ordered a takeaway, well, went to Domino's and bought a pizza. which is not good because I'm trying to save my money and try not to order any processed foods. And I'm trying to live a bit healthier so I can be around long enough for my kids to grow up and hopefully one day see my grandkids. But it was difficult, and although it only lasted quite briefly, it was probably like a minute, I was tempted, and I immediately found a way to get over it. But some people out there, that initial temptation is just a way to open up the door. It's very easy to walk through that door and start all over again. And if I were to have used, then I would have suffered for the next 3 days at least, because it will start the whole process of moving past it all over again. And I've come so far in these past 3 weeks, and I don't want to go backwards, which is another reason why I'm sharing my my thoughts and views on it. So I just wanted to start off this video by hopefully explaining how I managed to get past the temptation. I don't know if I've really clarified it all too much, but it's important to find something you're passionate about, something you're interested in, even something small. For me, I'm passionate about carpentry. I've always enjoyed it. I love the idea of taking a plain piece of wood and making it into something. That's always something I've always been interested in. So I've managed to find something in my life to focus on that's constructive and helpful. Now, other people out there, they might not know what that is yet. So my advice to anybody that is struggling with addiction or mental health issues is to find something you're interested in. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's constructive and healthy for you. Find something you're willing to throw yourself into, and just give it a go and see how you feel. If you are struggling and you want to talk, feel free to contact me. I will put my personal email address in the description of this video. So if you are struggling out there and you need someone to talk to and you don't really feel comfortable sharing it online, everything you say to me or send to me via email would stay between myself and you. I won't be publishing it. I won't be talking about it on camera. But I really want to help people, and if I can help someone with these videos, then that's what I want to do. So yeah, enough about that. I just wanted to quickly say thank you to a particular subscriber. He started watching my videos pretty day one, and his engagement with my videos has made it a lot, how can I put it? It's given me a lot more motivation to keep going. And so I just wanted to say thank you to Redeem. Apologies if I said your name wrong. I can see that you've been watching a lot of my videos, and I can see that my engagement has risen and my watch time has risen. So I just want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I plan on sticking to it. So stay tuned, and thank you very much, Redeem. Right, so enough of me talking about random stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the wooden planks that we filled in, see how it's held up, and then we're going to check on the table. All right, so let's get into it. Oh. So instead of moving my laptop all the time, I do realise I can actually just lift up my camera. So yeah, I've got like a little webcam that's on a USB cable, so apologies if it's not the best quality, but it saves me having to move around my whole laptop. So I'm just gonna pop you down here. So you can see these are where we done our patch ups. See, it's kind of like a dark browny color. I think that's the coloration from the red sawdust we put in. But again, the color doesn't really matter too much. But as you can see, the wood is very hard. Feels actually like wood grain as well, which is good. That will help all those little random wood fibers we put into the glue. But it seems to have dried over the weekend, which is what we wanted. So today we are going to be sanding those down and hopefully taking a look afterwards. But there is obviously patches on different parts. They've all been checked. They've all cured quite nicely. Some not as much as I was expecting. That's probably the lack of wood glue I put on them. Here we just filled in a few gaps. And here it looks quite messy, but there was a fair big chunk down here that we took out by accident with a blunt. The darker spots you can see a lot more of the actual wood filler was actually placed in, and especially over here there's quite a deep gouge inside here. The main aim with this is to try and level it out so there's not so many gaps in the wood when it comes to planing them and sticking them together. So yeah, look, we can see here still some indentation, but hopefully with a bit of sanding that should be not as bad as it once was. And then lastly, I think we just filled in a few of the holes, but I probably might have to go over it again at some point. But for the most part, it's worked quite well. So yeah, we're now going to have a look at we're going to take off the clamps for the wood for the tabletop and have a look, see how we done. There's quite a lot of compression on it. Been here the whole weekend, so we're going to take them off, turn over the table, and we'll see what we got. Apologies if there is slight skipping in the video or like a delay in my camera feed. I think having some issues with my laptop, it's not the best. And I don't think the processing power is all that clever. So when it comes to actually recording and editing videos, it's really doesn't do a good enough job. But it's what I've got at the moment. It's with my laptop for uni more than anything else, which I'm not actually doing anymore. When I started uni, I was with my ex-wife, and I had a lot of personal issues and I was struggling financially, which had a real big impact on my emotional state. And I ended up withdrawing myself from uni in year one. I was only supposed to be taking a break for a year until I got things sorted, but that 1 year turned into 2 and then turned into 3. And now I'm kind of debating whether to actually go back. As much as I want to actually finish it, because I felt like my education was something I never really gave my all. Being a husband and a dad to 3 young children, like when I was going to university, and I struggled with being able to concentrate and prioritize my actual degree, as I had too many personal real world issues going on. So kind of made uni feel kind of pointless, if I'm being honest. So I didn't really give it as much focus and attention as I should have done. Although I showed some signs of promise, it felt like something I never was actually gave my all to. I was aiming to go back one day and finish off my degree in business management. But at the moment, it's really expensive to go to uni. I don't have the finances to pay for it myself. So I was having to get myself into a lot of student debt. And if not actually using your degree after you finish uni, it's kind of like, it's a lot of money. I like if I would have finished my uni degree and done it all 4 years, I was getting student loans to pay for my tuition, which my tuition was somewhere like over £10,000 a semester, and in the UK there's 3 semesters, so there was like 30 grand a year. On top of that, I was getting student finance, so I was getting money given to me. So I was getting because I was an independent student, I was getting somewhere between like £3,500 every 3 months, every semester. So you work it out, it's like 39 grand a year, probably more, probably just a little bit over 40. And then you do that over 4 years, that's 120 grand. So, well, 160 grand, sorry. I'm failing quick maths, obviously. And that's a lot of debt for anybody. Unless you've got a really successful job, or you're doing a degree where you can walk straight into a high paying career, the average person is never going to pay that off. Hopefully one day I will be able to get out of the debt with the debt I've accrued. But for the time being, it's not something I can afford to go back to do, because I failed, well, not failed, but because I withdrew during my year one. If I were to go back now, they would have counted my year one as my leap year, which means that if I were to fail another year, I would then have to pay my own money to continue my uni course for that year, or for my final year, however they want to work it out. But it meant I would then have to find my tuition for the whole year, and then I wouldn't get any student finance for that year that I missed or made a mistake. So I have to really make sure, if I'm going to go back to uni, that I've got no distractions and I can really focus on it. And with the way my head is at the moment, focusing on something like that is something I find difficult, as I get easily distracted and go off different tangents about random stuff. So I wasn't exactly jumping at the chance to take that risk, because if I failed it, it's a very expensive mistake. So for now, I don't think I'll be going back to uni. Hopefully, or maybe one day in the future, I might be in a better place mentally, maybe financially, that I don't have to pay, or I don't have to get myself into loans to go back. But yeah, that's something for a later date. A few fibers from the cloth, which is not a big issue. Easy sand those off. Alright, not looking too shabby. Now, it's not completely flat or level as the underside of the boards. So this side, as you can see, it's not completely flat. Right, so you've got some ridges inside the wood. Put it down here, it's quite heavy now. It's surprising how you glue together some pallets. They don't really weigh too much together, but when you glue them together, they start adding up the weight. So because I didn't cut this down to size and make sure all the planks of wood were completely level and the same size, it was difficult when it comes to the gluing process, because it made the table kind of bend, especially considering the redwood I used had a bow in it. So it made the table kind of go like inwards, like this. So there was a slight natural bend to the table top here, which I will be finding the flattest point of the table. Probably not today. Depends on how much time I have, as I do have some other stuff to do today. But I wanted to get in and get at least a video done today, so you guys don't think I'm going missing. And also, if I don't upload regularly, YouTube will start counteracting my engagement. So I need to make sure I upload regularly, and I already took 2 days off. So I have to make sure I at least get a video out today, if not two. But yeah, because the wood's kind of got a bit of a curve to it on the outer planks, and it kind of seeps in towards the middle, I'm going to find the shortest part of the actual top, and I'm going to mark it off, and I'm going to plane from there outwards. So that hopefully, my intention is that if I start from the lowest point, then I plane it outwards, that hopefully the rest of it will kind of level out. But it doesn't, I'm trying to need it to be as flat as possible, as this is going to be the kind of guide I'm going to be using for a lot of my other projects, especially if they're going to be having a flat bottom. And I will be putting like drilling in or cutting into a hole so I can pop a plank of wood in as something I can then brace against. So I want to make sure I can pop it in and take it out. But yeah, what we will do is find the lowest point, like I said, plane out from there, sand it down, then we're going to seal the wood, because I do want to be able to take this outside and do woodworking outside as well. I don't want to just be stuck inside a garage or somewhere. I want to be able to go anywhere I want and set up. I mean, thankfully I've got most of my setup is all completely mobile. I'm literally running everything off one extension cable, and running off my laptop. Apart from plugging my phone in to charge it, everything else is powered by my laptop. So it means I can then move my setup around, and I can go to different places and maybe find somewhere scenic, park up, get my table out, and start doing some carpentry. So I really do like being outdoors, and hopefully once I get a van set up, I'll be able to do that a lot more. But for now, we're limited to what we can and can't do. So we will get back to this. There is a few kind of parts, but for the whole, it feels completely solid. I just got quite a big weight to it now. That's probably a lot to do with the amount of planks and also the redwood inside, because that, from my understanding, I think it is actually hardwood, and it weighs a lot more. Like, you can feel the difference completely when you pick up one plank of this in comparison to like 2 or 3 planks of this pine pallet. So I think that's definitely where the weight is. So this is only half the table bench. This side here is going to be where we're going to marry up the other planks that I just showed you, and we are going to possibly try and glue those today. I didn't realize I missed out 4 planks of wood last time, so I've got 13 planks in total, ready to be sanded down and glued. Well, I think those ones are sanded. These ones need sanding because of the wood filler, and then we're going to glue them up, and hopefully we'll at some point be able to glue the 2 table tops together from this side to the other side, and we should have at least about this much table space. So it's not going to be too much of a wide table, but it's going to be big enough that I'll be able to do things on, and it's hopefully going to be sturdy enough. So stay tuned for that. All right, now pop this out here. Now, need this. Do make sure if you are going to be doing some sanding that you do have PPE, as when I first started doing the sanding, I wasn't wearing one of these, and honestly I struggled like breathing. Well, not breathing, but I definitely felt the difference of using this and not having it. You will get very fine sawdust, and you will breathe it in without realizing it. It's really hard to see the really small fine dusts. So just be mindful, make sure you always use PPE, because it can be quite dangerous and you really don't want to have any respiratory issues, especially when you're working with used pallets, because you don't know what they've been used for. That's why I always recommend trying to find out where the pallets have been, what they've been used for. Anything really serious like chemicals, as I've explained before, will get destroyed, but sometimes companies skip corners. So you never really know, but they do have an obligation to destroy anything that, especially the chemical companies, they do have obligations to destroy the pallets they use if there has been a spillage. So yeah, but you can't trust big companies, to be honest. Some of them, they will cut corners just to save a bit of money, especially on a large scale, because it makes a massive difference to their end of year finances. But anyway, just always be safe and try and use PPE when possible. If you are working outside, there's a lot of air and a lot of circulation. Probably not as necessary, but somewhere enclosed like this, where for the most part you can't really see all the fine dust. And even here, this is just an example of it. You can see completely covered in dust. Now, if I were to do that really hard, all the dust particles would fly up. You'd probably be able to see some of the thicker ones, but there'd be a lot of fine particles you wouldn't be able to see, and you really don't want those in your system. So we're going to pop on some PPE. Wow. Excuse me if you can't. I'm a little bit muffled while wearing it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Just get a sanding block. A lot of my videos are going to be raw footage, as the editing process is something I'm not too great at, if I'm being honest. But it's something I want to eventually do and get the hang of. But right now it's a massive commitment I don't really have the time for. So we won't be editing too many. Obviously, if I have to cut the footage and edit it together, or if I've been recording for a really long time and I don't want to use the whole footage, I will edit it. But I think if you don't do a good job editing and people see that you actually have edited and you haven't really given that good enough try, then it does impact their engagement. I don't think people really want to watch amateur YouTubers all too much, especially these days. When you click on a video, you expect very good quality. At least that's from my understanding anyway. Right, so I'm going to use some of this. This is a P180 grit, which is very similar to what I was using before. Actually, it's actually finer than what I was using before. I was using 120. Try and conserve as much as possible, so I've fold this in half. It has to be too perfect. Just these masks irritate my eyes so much. It's burning having long eyelashes. You feel it every time that something's around here. Whenever I blink, I just feel it on my eyelashes, and it makes me really anxious. I have hay fever as well, so my face always feels like really itchy, especially in the summer. And, fold it the opposite way. And do the same line. obviously don't do this on the sanded side. Try and there we go. Nice stroke. Cool. That. Fold that. There. Two minutes. There we go. Just make sure we push down these two bits. We have a bit of teeth open to the sandpaper. So you can still see there is some indentation from where I didn't put enough in. It's quite hard to put in thick amount of wood filler, especially because all I was using was this tiny little wedge I cut from a bit of wood. So it was hard to actually get a lot in the crevices, but we seem to have done a decent enough job. Where I would recommend somebody else if you have got the time, then feel free to make your own wood filler. As this, you can actually match the wood you're using, as you can literally use the same pallets or the same bits of sawdust that you're actually sanding off the bits of wood, and then you can just save it, put the shavings into a bit of wood glue, mix it around, make sure you've got decent consistency, and then fill in the gaps. So it's not really too much of an issue if you do make a mistake with a plane and dig into the wood. But if you can, always fix it. Flip this over. Perfect. There we go. So there is a difference inside the actual wood. You can see the dark spots are where the wood filler has been placed. This one has been majority filled in. So we did a decent enough job. Obviously, there's always trial and error. But for some of the bits where I put a lot in, you can definitely feel the roughness of all the different fibers. So what we're going to do is make sure we sand them down, get them as flat as possible. As the more ridges and the more bumps there are on the wood, less chance you're going to have a flush glue. So we want to try and make sure the table is flush as possible, so you need less work later down the line. So that little foldable workbench, and you can actually sit on that, and it helps to we also put pressure down on the wood. Draw the legs down. Just like a nice coloration on top of it. It's like kind of ashy grey. Don't know whether that's a combination of the glue drying and different sawdust we put inside of it, but it's definitely a bulge here from where a knot is. And the sandpaper is absolutely trash. Completely falling apart already, and we've barely even used it. I think this one's going to have to be planed again. This is quite a ridge here. And not fold out. through those long fingers over it, kind of goes up here and back down. And if you're new to this channel, you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just use a different piece of wood? But I don't want to throw away pallets. I don't want to throw away any wood. I want to try and repurpose it as much as I can. As I don't really want to buy wood, and I don't really believe that we should be cutting down massive amounts of trees just to make stuff. So I only really want to use wood that's already been felled, or wood that's naturally fallen off or broken down over time. Hopefully I'll be able to land be able to buy one day will be some part forest, so that I'll have natural falling timber, or natural falling wood rather. I'll be able to use that to work with. The bits of wood that I did have intentions of using first of all were actual logs that have just been cut down and left by the council. So yeah, I'm aware we're getting very close to that 45-minute mark. I don't really want to go any longer than that, as I don't want to make these videos too long for you guys, especially listening to me talk for that long will probably bore you to death. But what I'll do is I'll mark this video as a progress / personal struggles, and then the next video will be fully just sanding down the pallets and seeing what we got to work with. And hopefully if I have enough time, I'll do the gluing of that side of the table today. Possibly not, because I'm probably gonna have to get on the plane and trim down some of this, but we'll see where we are at the end of today. Alright, so we've got a minute before it gets to 45 minutes. So it's down it. So this little box again. Alright, again, at the end of the video, I like to give you guys a little message. So I just want to say thank you to all of your support. Even watching this video to this point in the video massively helps. So if you're enjoying the content, or if you've got some personal struggles and these videos help you, then please subscribe, stick around, as I'll be trying to do this every single day. Obviously, I won't be able to do the weekends because I'm either seeing my kids or at the boot sales. It is my intention to one day be able to live stream those sort of things, but I'm not seeing my kids, so I don't want them on camera, but live streaming the boot sales and stuff, so you guys get to see me in my natural element, I guess. I mean, you guys are at the moment. This is me. There is no filters, there is no editing really, apart from that one video that I had to crop down and try and transition so it's a bit actually watchable. But that's the main reason why I want to keep these as long form content. I don't want to really edit them too much, as it gives you guys a proper look into myself, and I kind of enjoy the whole recording process, not so much the editing. So again, thank you very much, and stay tuned for episode 8. We'll be doing more woodworking in that episode, if you have my word. But thank you very much. Take care of yourself, guys. Peace. And if you reach the end of this video, drop pineapples in the comments. Thank you.